On the news, President Buhari to unveil iconic 60-square-meter book of Nigerian history since 1960. Senate condemns murder of late Dora Akunyili's husband, Chike Akunyili. And court prohibits federal government from retrying Orji's Okalu over alleged 7.1 billion naira fraud. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. I'm Oyi Adekunle. Ahead of Nigeria's 61st Independence Day celebration, President Muhammadu Buhari will on Thursday unveil Discover Nigeria, a pictorial book on the country's history covering the period from independence in 1960 to present till date. The 392-page book, authored by the president's official photographer Bayo Omoboriowo, showcases the country's rich traditional institutions and the beauty of its landscape. Omoboriowo explains that the book presentation was conceived as part of Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee celebration, adding that it has been enlisted as a contender for the Guinness World Records largest photo book. And the Senate has condemned the brutal murder of Chike Akunyili, the husband to Dora Akunyili, the former Director General of NAFDAC, who was killed by unknown gunmen on Tuesday. The upper chamber also observed a minute silence in honor of the late Chike Akunyili on Wednesday, sequel to a matter of urgent public importance moved by Senator Uche Ekunife. According to the senator, the late Chike, the medical director of St. Luke Hospital in Enugu State, contributed immensely to Nigeria's healthcare sector.
Tuesday, 28 September 2021, at Afombo in Anambra State, that the husband of the former DG of NAFDAC and former Minister of Information, late Professor Dora Akunyili, was gunned down in a most gruesome and very horrifying manner in Anambra State. Dr. Chike Akunyili went to Onitsha to present a paper and receive an award at memorial lecture put together by civil society organization in honor of his late wife, Professor Dora Akunyili, and was gruesomely attacked and murdered at Mpo on his way back to Enugu. The Senate is aware that lots of gruesome attacks and killings have been going on around in the entire Southeast, especially in Anambra State, Enugu State, and Imo State. Mr. President, the Senate therefore urges the Inspector General of Police and other law enforcement agencies to step up action towards unraveling perpetrators of this gruesome murder, gruesome killings of our innocent people in the name of unknown gunmen.
In a related development, the Senate has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to declare bandits as terrorists. During plenary on Wednesday, the federal lawmakers asked President Buhari to declare all the known leaders of the bandits wanted and track them wherever they are for arrest and prosecution. The resolutions followed a motion moved by Senator representing Sokoto East, Ibrahim Gobir, and 8 others. While stating his case, the senator recalled the killing of 21 security personnel over the weekend in Dama and Gangara local government area in Sokoto State that left many dead or kidnapped.
Sokoto Senatorial District has now become a safe haven for the bandits due to the current crackdown taking place in Zamfara State. Concerned that on Saturday, 25th September 2021, 21 security personnel were killed in Dama and the Gangara villages by rampaging bandits. 15 of them soldiers, 3 mobile police, while 3 members of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. In addition to yet to be ascertained the number of civilians from the neighboring villages. This has gone to portray the seriousness of the problem, which requires concerted and urgent action by the declaration of total war on banditry.
The Federal Executive Council has approved the right to 14-day paternity leave for male federal civil servants to allow them to bond with their infants. This was disclosed to State House correspondents on Wednesday by the head of service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi, after the week's virtual FEC meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Folashade said that this is to enable for proper bonding between the father and a newborn, either natural born or adopted, especially at the early stages of the child's life.
The chapter on APA and promotions has been replaced by a new chapter on the new performance management system that has been introduced into the public service. There is also a chapter that has also been reinvigorated, the chapter on training. This is an all-important chapter because of the importance that training has in the public service. We also have a new chapter on virtual meetings. You recall that there was a policy document that was approved by the Federal Executive Council. So we've put some of the guidelines from that policy document into the new public service rules. And so we have accepted virtual meetings as a tool to be used in service now. And there's some guidelines there. We've also gotten approval to include paternity leave. This is something that is new, and this is something that the unions in the service asked that we include, and luckily we've been able to include it.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has barred the federal government from retrying the former governor of Abia State, Orji Uzor Kalu, on the alleged 7.1 billion naira money laundering charge brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In a judgment delivered by Justice Inyang Eko, the court held that the Supreme Court did in the verdict it gave on May 8, 2020, ordered the retrial of either Kalu or his firm, Sloke Nigeria Limited. Justice Eko held that the Supreme Court only ordered the retrial of former Director of Finance in Abia State, Jones Ude Odogo, who was the appellant before it. Consequently, Justice Eko upheld the suit that Kalu filed to challenge the legal propriety of his planned rearrangement by the EFCC. And Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello has charged all Nigerians to join the fight against crime, insurgency and criminality in the country. At a meeting with members of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Governor Bello explains that the fight against crime and criminality is not just the business of the government. He added that every citizen of Kogi State is a potential crime fighter by assisting security operatives with information and intelligence sharing. Reeling out his scorecard since assumption of office, Governor Bello disclosed that the state's internally generated revenue has increased tremendously, adding that this was achieved due to prudent spending in executing projects, policies and programs in the state.
I ensure that every citizen of Kogi State take part in the fight against crimes and criminalities. Everybody, from your very home to the community, to the local government, to constituency, to the senatorial district, and across the states. Whatever we're going to do in any fiscal year is contained in our budget, passed by the State House of Assembly, and we tried as much as possible to implement the budget within the available resources. And immediately we are leaving that particular year into another fiscal year, we publish our financials. That, dear brothers and citizens, this is what we proposed to do. This is how much we were able to raise. And this is how we spent it. In fact, we priced contract in Kogi as if we are pricing tomato in the market. As if you are buying Maggi in the market. That is how we sacrifice. We go to that extent.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, Tunisia's president appoints first woman as head of government. We'll bring you details of that and more shortly. Please stay with us.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on News Now. Here's a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari is set to unveil Discover Nigeria, a pictorial book on Nigeria's history covering the period from independence in 1960 to the present. The 392-page book, authored by the president's official photographer, Bayo Omoboriwo, showcases the country's rich traditional institutions and the beauty of its landscape. Omoboriwo says the book presentation was conceived as part of Nigeria's Diamond Celebration. And we also told you that the Senate has condemned the brutal murder of Chike Akunyele, the husband to Dora Akunyele, former Director General of NAFDAC, who was killed by unknown gunmen on Tuesday. The upper chamber also observed silence in honor of the deceased. Following a sequel, a matter of urgent public importance moved by Senator Uche Ekwunife, having cited Order 43 of Senate Rule. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, do log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
It's about the files your secretary presented to me regarding the company's salaries. Yes, the figures don't seem to add up. I suspect there's some form of a
discrepancy.
Precisely, sir.
Keep the figure that way.
That's not doing, sir.
That's my money.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't do that, sir.
See how padded your books are. Are you telling me you cannot pad up figures?
Sir, padding is against best auditing practices, and it's a form of corruption.
It's true. Accountant.
You were testing. Thank you, sir.
That's it. Bagole.
Yes, sir.
You are fired.
Yeah. Fine, sir. Rather than watch corruption grow under my watch. Padding is a form of corruption and not in my country, sir.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Nigeria on Tuesday recorded 295 coronavirus infections. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) in an update said the new cases were recorded in 19 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The FCT recorded the highest figure with 81 cases, followed by Gombe with 43 and Osun with 32 cases, raising the total number of infections in the country to 205,047. 6 persons also died of COVID-19 related complications, bringing the total fatalities in the country to 2,695. And senior government officials in South Africa, including the former health minister, have been implicated by a corruption investigation into the awarding of a multi-million-dollar coronavirus contract. A probe by the country's Special Investigating Unit found Zweli Mkhize guilty of a distinct lack of oversight over the contract worth around $10 million. Some of the money from the deal was used to renovate the former minister's private property. His son also bought a car and withdrew close to $20,000. Investigators recommended that the president take action against the former minister. He has, however, denied any wrongdoing. I will take another break here and return with business news. Please stay with us.
give him his shoe. It's somewhere here. His phone and everything.
Don't do like that again.
Thank you. So, bye-bye. Hey, Oga, where do you think you are going? Home.
You never shake body.
You
never shake body.
Shake body, see?
You never shake body.
Never shake body. I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here.
Sit down there. What's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get cover.
You are asking for money. Sorry, ma'am. Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
Police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the president of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it. Use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now, before we go to business news, we bring you reports that President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the gruesome murder of the husband of the former NAFDAC boss, Dora Akunyili, that's Chike Akunyili, who was killed on Tuesday by gunmen in Anambra State. In a statement released by his spokesperson, Femi Adesina, President Muhammadu Buhari said he is deeply saddened by the gruesome killing of Dr. Chike Akunyili. The president says he shares the pain of the offspring of the deceased, their families, and those whose lives would never remain the same after the inhumane act that happened in Anambra State. Buhari says he has fond memories of working with the deceased at the Petroleum Trust Fund, and Nigerians will never forget the memory of the Amazon who distinguished herself as a courageous, dependable, and patriotic citizen. President Buhari also enjoined security agencies and leaders of thought to work harder to bring an end to violence being unleashed on innocent Nigerians across the country. Well, up next is business news, and we have Bisola Adebayo standing by for that. Over to you, Bisola.
Thank you very much, Oyin. Welcome to Business News. The Nigerian Senate has commenced moves to stop processing delay and illegal charges on cargo transport by freight agents in the country. The decision to end multiple charges on cargo processing and transport was reached by the upper chamber following consideration of a motion sponsored by Senator Bala Ibn Nahala during plenary on Wednesday. Nahala noted that the country loses about 250 billion naira on agro exports of produce, which continues to impact negatively on the country's economy.
An estimate on agro export of produce in the country, which stand as at today in the ratio of 87.13% by way of imbalance. Aware that there are about 16 sundry charges for goods coming in or out of the country, with 16 charges in Lagos and 15 in Abuja, which many of them are unofficial and illegal. Further notes that the loading of 100 tons of cargo on aircraft in Nigeria costs about $35,000, while in Ghana it's just about $4,000. Aware that this has caused substantial damage to the federal government efforts of stimulating capital inflow in the country, and aware that airlines involved in cargo transport have started avoiding Nigeria in view of the prohibitive charges, the Senate will resolve to mandate the Joint Committee on Trade and Investment and Aviation and Custom to invite stakeholders and freight agents to come with acceptable template for import and export of goods through our airport.
We'll take a break here and return with a review of the stock market. It was a new day in the bulls territory for Nigeria Stock Exchange on Wednesday as it marginally appreciated by 1.89% at the close of transactions. This increase was due to bargain hunting in some high and medium capitalized stocks, and at the close of trading, investors were counting gains to the tune of almost 400 billion naira. Unfortunately, market turnover closed negative as volume of shares transacted moved down by 9.87%, which is why 474 million units of shares valued at over 4 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,547 deals. However, Nigerian flour mills led 24 gainers. Investors also indicated interest in the stocks of First Bank Nigeria Holdings. That's why it's leading the gainers counter today. On the flip side, as our losers list for today, Mansard and J. Berger led 13 other losers in the market. They had a combined 97 kobo loss. On the foreign scene, that's our global market for today. The FTSE, London's FTSE ended higher on Wednesday as AstraZeneca boosted healthcare stocks on completing a takeover deal to sharpen its focus on rare disease drugs. Also, the Dow Jones also rebounded on Wednesday after a sell-off driven by higher demand, higher bond yield, and a global energy crunch. Investors appear to be shaking off those fears as bond yields fell slightly. But Japan stocks largely declined following an overnight tumble on Wall Street, and that's why it closed at 2.12% decline. That's all on Stock Market Review. Over to Oyin for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much for that update, Bisola. On the foreign scene, Tunisian President Kais Saied has named Najla Bouden, a little-known university engineer who worked with the World Bank, as the country's first female prime minister, nearly 2 months after he seized most powers in a move his foes call a coup. Saied called the appointment a honor for Tunisia and a homage to Tunisian women, urging Bouden to form a government swiftly. Saied dismissed the previous prime minister, suspended parliament, and assumed wide executive powers in July, and has been under growing domestic and international pressure to form a new government. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Amid ongoing paternity controversy, comedian Chinedu Ani, better known as Nedu, says his ex-wife Uzuamaka Ohiri has handed their 2 daughters over to him at the State Criminal Investigation Department in Panti. Nedu also posted the statement written by his ex-wife at the SCID, wherein she stated, among other things, that she was handing the children over because she had challenges with rent expenses. In the statement, she said she would be given full access to the children while they remain in her ex-husband's custody. Uzuamaka, however, revealed that she did the handover under duress. One of Nigeria's veteran actresses, Joke Silva, has clocked 60 and celebrates 40 years in the Nigerian movie industry. The movie star served birthday looks on social media while reflecting on the past 10 years of her life, thanking God for good health, love and support of family and friends. The multiple award-winning actress has featured in over 100 productions since her career kicked off from stage. Joke Silva landed her breakout role alongside Colin Firth and Nia Long in the British-Canadian film The Secret Laughter of Women. Silva is one of the few veterans who has made a successful transition to what has been described as the new Nollywood era. And that's all there is on the entertainment segment of News Now.
The Nigeria Peach Award has listed the country's First Lady, Aisha Buhari, tops on the list of high-ranking personalities to be honored at this year's ceremony scheduled for March 26, 2022. President of the awards, Shina Phillips, at a press briefing in Lagos, said the awards had been long identified as a motivating factor in the drive to improve sports development. Phillips also explained the reason for the choice of Nigerians to be honored.
The strength of the Nigeria Peach Awards is that is one that is so unique. First, we have about 16 competitive categories that you have top media analysts and editors come together to decide for Nigerians who the best in the different categories are, and it stays sacrosanct. Now, with regards to recognition awards, the organizers have often, exercise not just their right, but of course, going through a painstaking process of looking at Nigerians who have, by way of recognition, who have done very, very well, for a certain period of time. It could be immediate, it could be a long time, and decide to recognize them. That's why the platform itself exists, to be able to say, well, look at what you're doing, we're proud of what you're doing, and as a platform, we recognize it, regardless of the fact that you have the competitive categories that no one tempers with. Organizers can't play around that area, but because of the true character of the Nigeria Peach Awards, which we always want to bring in the area of recognition award those who are truly deserving of it.
And that's the size of our bulletin this evening. We thank you for watching. I am Oyi Adekunle. Bye for now.